Yeah, we're gonna go right to the next one for this, too. Okay. Because normally I would end the stream on to be continued, but we've been here for 40 minutes. So we're gonna keep going. The door has somehow been bolt shut during the ship's emergency maneuvers. Susato drew in a deep breath and wordlessly unbolted the latch. Filthy rats, what are you doing in Nikopina's cabin? It appears that both of you are unarmed. Yes, we are. What exactly just happened? I heard something from the speaking tube about ships colliding. That appears to have been a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? An emergency warning was indeed sounded throughout the entire ship. However, the ship merely made a temporary stop due to low visibility caused by the sea's fog. The ship is a mess, passengers going crazy, and Captain is red with fury. At the moment, only the first-class area remains calm. I see. A false alarm right now. Then there had to have been someone who pushed the button. You! Dark, shady intruder! Yes? She really put her all into that shriek. You opened trunk, without asking. Huh? Oh, no, it wasn't us. That's right! The trunk was already open when we came back in. Mr. Detective! Yes? Arrest this man. I am knowing everything. This man is murderer too, yes? Exactly, a stowaway too. Excuse me? Hurry, arrest him for trespassing. I'm already arrested! Do you not see the cuffs on my wrists? Murderer, stowaway, trespasser, no end to your trouble, is there? Okay, I only did 2 of those. I really can't excuse myself from this one. Ship is solitary cell. You go in isolation now. Oh, please don't. We arrive at Hong Kong tomorrow, then you arrive in police custody. Isolation? Detective Hosonaga, isn't there anything we can do? You're on a Russian ship. I have no authority as an officer of the law here. While I convinced the captain to be lenient before, I feel that will no longer be possible. No. I've got to find a way to get out of this pinch. And quickly at that. Okay. Just look around. I'm not saying. In times like these, it's best to calm down and care for it. My things do not touch. Damn you, are you wanting to be strangled? Okay. I just wanted to look around. Friend and foe alike are all hanging up against me now. Okay, well, I don't know what I expected really, but that doesn't matter. I need to find one person who can get me out of this. You know? Huh. Excuse me, Nikomina. Get out. Look, I'm sorry for entering your cabin without permission, but do not be coming back again. You see, we just wanted to investigate the case. I don't speak Russian. Looks like I won't be able to ask her anything. That doesn't matter. I need to find someone to get me out of this. Okay, he can't. Hello? Please just give me a little more time. Do not be stupid. The only thing I will give you is trip to the brink. So annoying. Don't talk so big just because you haven't been big. But I'm not guilty of anything. I'm not a murderer. Then you are guilty of stowaway and trespassing. Well, people play many roles. Oh my god. People play many roles in life. You're right. Hey, it's time to go. Your cell is ready for you. They must be here somewhere. I need to find a savior, someone who can rescue me from this terrible crisis. But he can't! Okay, whatever. You've gotten yourself into some more trouble, I see. Or were you caught trespassing? I'm sorry about that. I was just trying to find clues. Well, I've already lost any influence I had. There's nothing I can do. Next time, I'm sure they won't be willing to leave it at a single punch. Detective. And I'm to blame for this as well, because I gave you the freedom to move about. I need to report this to the captain immediately. They must be here somewhere. I need to find a savior, someone who can rescue me from this terrible crisis. Do I need to... Fucking... Hey, my man. What are you doing? What? What are you doing over there? Mr. Sherlock Holmes? Why do you have the tiara on? Oh my god. Oh, you know, I wanted to feel the weight of the 20,000 rubles on my head. For you see, a detective must be able to comprehend anything and everything. I swear there was no shenanigans afoot. Indeed, I would never steal from anyone. Putting that aside, why were you hanging from the clothes hook? That. I simply wanted to experience the profundity of being 20,000 rubles. And to crush that cheeky hook poking its head out of the wall with a snap. It's no use. I honestly can't figure out what in the world he's talking about. Are you that self-proclaimed great detective? Ah, hello, good detective. I've been looking for you, actually. I wish to report some information if you would be so kind as to allow it. I must not be a great detective as I have no desire to hang from that wall hook. So what is it? What is this information? When it comes to a great detective's report, there can only be one subject to discuss. Namely, regarding the mysterious murder that occurred on the SS Sinclair last night. I have just completely solved it, ladies and gentlemen. Here is my report. What did you just say? I've brought this matter to its conclusion. There should be no other possibilities. I should now... I can't speak. I don't speak, Sherlock. I dropped out of high school, please. Something only a great detective can do. A great detective's great deduction. Are we doing it again? Solved? What nonsense. We are already knowing identity of culprit. It isn't stowaway in handcuffs, no other possibility. It wasn't me! Yet, there were no other individuals who could have carried out the murder. After all, the cabin was locked from within by the bolt on the latch. Yeah, but that was only later. Also, because they could have came and murdered him and left, and then when the ship moved, the bolt would have latched. The culprit must have been inside the cabin. There was no other reasonable explanation. This is just like the locked room murders that you see in detective novels, isn't it? She's right, the locked room thing. Locked room? They're right. These doors can't possibly be unbolted from the other side, but... I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but that cabin was not a perfect locked room. Huh? There is, in fact, one other entrance to the crime scene. The vent? The entrance was the one that was used by the culprit when the crime was committed. What is this other entrance you speak of? Even now it lies open before your very eyes. The air duct. The air duct? You cannot be serious. You could not fit even an arm into a shaft as small as this one. I can't. Well, at least not your arm. So you're saying the culprit entered the cabin through that tiny shaft? And who exactly would be capable of doing that? As it turns out, last night, the victim herself witnessed the culprit's appearance. Could you be referring to the contents of the journal we found on Cosimo's desk? 1 hour and 23 minutes after midnight, I heard a sound like a low whistle. 1 hour and 35 minutes after midnight, I saw a speckled band at the air duct. Precisely. What could that speckled band possibly be? The answer to that mystery is hiding somewhere in this very room. Hello, Mr. Holmes? What do you mean? Worry not, all will be well. There may be a bit of a ruckus, though. Feast your eyes as I unveil something truly mystifying yet intriguing. There! That's... Help him! Ladies and gentlemen, allow me the pleasure of introducing the true identity of the fearsome speckled band. That's a snake, isn't it? Just so? Mr. Holmes, may I ask a question? Yes, please, by all means. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I really don't think speckled describes that snake. No matter how I look at it, it's more striped than anything. Good point. Yes, that does seem more accurate. It's more of a striped band. Quite the clever observation. However, what if it were to tell you that this very fact is part of the culprit's devious trap? It's a snake! What? You're saying it's a trap? What kind of trap would that be? Allow me to... I don't speak, Sherlock! The time has come to reveal my findings. Do you understand the possible implications of what I'm about to say, Miss Nikomina? The Japanese man died. Very sad, but that is all. I am knowing nothing. Nothing at all. Just like last time, I have come to two conclusions. First of all, last night your friend slithered into the victim's cabin. And secondly, your friend took the victim's life. No! He is turning pale. It looks like his two conclusions have hit the mark again. But it doesn't make any sense. Because he didn't have any poison, which would include venom, I would assume. So the snake isn't poisonous. Venomous. The snake isn't venomous. It's also not poisonous. But so this young lady's friend was the one who took Asobi's life. The snake's got him in a vice grip. He can't even speak. Good sailor, I suggest that you remain absolutely still. If you were to enrage the snake and suffer a bite, it would not end well for you. Now, everyone, shall we begin? Come, one and all, to Sherlock Holmes' Theater of Logic and Reason! Yes! The deck should start. The game is afoot. Topic 1. The Intruder. Conclusion. Miss Nikomina, you've said this for yourself. I am knowing nothing. Nothing at all. However, you are unable to lie to yourself. Indubitably, it's only natural to feel pain in your heart upon recalling the events. Oh, it's her hand. Thank you, though. I love you. Thank you. I love this. The very same pain is the evidence of your relation to the victim's death. But who entered the scene that night, you may ask? That would be the friend who carried on board the ship, wouldn't it? No surprise there. Your line of sight shifted this time as well. Naturally, your friend is that snake. However, if that were the case, one problem presents itself. It was a speckled band that witnessed. I can't speak! I got so distracted by that damn snake! I can't talk! Sherlock, please step away from the snake. I'm begging. It was a speckled band that was witnessed by the victim last night. And yet, unfortunately, no matter how you look at it, you cannot call this snake a speckled band. So then, what did the victim see last night? Do not look. I'm knowing nothing about this, too. Indubitably, the answer to the question is what you've just tried to hide. Thus, it is that snake skin, without a doubt. It's not snake skin, but it was that. Indubitably, after that incident, your friend shed its skin, isn't that right? What are you talking about? Snakes don't change in appearance from each other's skin. Last night, the snake covered in speckles sneaked through that entrance over there. Guided by that call to bell, it slowly slithered down into the room. In the dim light, the victim saw it as a speckled band. Therefore, the identity of your friend who sneaked onto the scene is a most unusual snake, capable of changing its appearance by shedding. I wonder if such a snake exists within the realms of India. Illusion, speckled snake. I love you, man, but you're so dumb. Fatal injury. Next, let's get into the core matter of this death. How and why was the victim's life robbed? From the information I have, the corpse did not show a single sign of external injury. Indubitably, the truth behind the victim's death lies in this deadly poison. And so, if that is indeed the truth, it is possible that the crime scene still contains hints about the murder. You lie. Indubitably, examining the corpse will let us prove the cause of death. There should be a small, near-invisible trace of a venomous fang on the victim's body. The trace of your friend, the terrible venomous snake's bite. What are you talking about? Miss Nikomina, it is pointless to feign ignorance. After the incident, you made sure to hide everything, correct? Indubitably, your line of sight leads straight to the location of concealment. The evidence of this terrible murder is hidden within your trunk. When we first entered this cabin, that trunk moved. The murder weapon, the stake, happened to rattle about at that moment, correct? No! By the way, the victim has heard a soft sound akin to a whistle before the incident. That is the signal you do in order to manipulate your snake. Manipulate? You let your snake loose into the air duct and called it back after a set period of time. It was unknown to you if the bite landed, so you decided to investigate the room. If the victim was still alive, you planned to just send out the snake again. And this, I'd imagine, is just what the snake was trying to do. You were wrong. Guided by the call bell from the entrance, it took one little bite with his venomous fangs. That venom ran through the victim's body, snuffing out life's ember for all eternity. That is precisely the true identity of the speckled band which robbed the victim's life. I can only hope that my deduction is incorrect. Why? Venomous snake. My turn, bitch! And there you have it. The great deductions of Sherlock Holmes have been revealed. My turn! The snake man had been training the snake to be used as a weapon. Over there was a milk saucer. I surmised milk was the treat used to assist with the training. I bet she had a black cat that she tied that thing around, like its neck. Because if it was black, you wouldn't be able to see it in a vent, really. You'd only see the scarf. Or a dog, but probably a cat if it jumped up there. Wow. This time the mystery solved for sure. Good heavens, that was a brilliant, great deduction. This truly is the great detective Sherlock Holmes. Guys, come on. Oh, please. This is but the first step. It certainly helped to at least starve off my boredom, however. Excuse me. A moment, please, Mr. Holmes. Yes, of course. Tell me what's on your mind. There's one thing I'm just a smidge curious about regarding that deduction. Ah yes, questions are certainly welcome. I'd be glad to answer them firmly and precisely. Thank you. First, snakes are born from eggs. Therefore, they are classified as reptiles. I see. You know your stuff. Reptiles do not drink milk. Huh? The only animals that would willingly drink milk are mammals. I do not think that one could train a snake with milk. Ah, yes. Now surely she trained it using a different trait. Milk is just an example. This problem is not important to the investigation. Next, snakes do not have ears. Huh? Therefore, I do not think it would be possible to manipulate the creature with a whistle. However, you know those stories. There's talk of snakes that twirl and dance to flutes in the land of Arabia. Yeah, but the flute is played to match the movements of the snake, not the other way around. Is that so? No arms, legs, or ears. Just how simple of a creature are you, snake? Please don't take out your frustrations on the snake. So, may I move on to my next point? There's more? The snake uses the scales on its stomach to move. It would be impossible for it to descend using something as flat as this bell. But why? Getting mad at me won't change how reality is. Anyway, even if you send a snake through the air duct, it cannot return by itself. Therefore, no matter how you look at it, it would be very difficult for a snake to commit this crime. Sherlock, it's okay, dude. Hey. You're smart, though. You figured some stuff out. Now, we've identified the issues. It's time to do it again, Naruhodo. By do it, do you mean... Yes, it's time to turn that deduction into a great deduction. I should have expected it would come to this. Yes! Understood. Let's do this. That's just what I wanted to hear, Master Naruhodo. Yeah. Take a look at your hands this time as well. My hands, sir? I'm guessing no, yep. Again, the handcuffs are gone. When did... And like before, there's no need to worry. You can have them back when we're finished. Trust me, I'm not very worried about it. Now, everyone, shall we begin? Come, one and all, to Sherlock Holmes' Theater of Logic and Reason. Yes! My turn! Hold it, Mr. Holmes! So, you mean you said this to yourself? I know nothing. Nothing at all. However, you are unable to lie to yourself. It's only natural to feel pain in her heart from recalling the events. No, it's her hand. Nikamina really does look like she's in a great deal of pain. Yes, indeed. She appears to feel truly guilty about Kazuma's death. But considering her obvious confusion at what Mr. Holmes was saying, there's most likely a different meaning to her facial expression. Well then, let's make sure we thoroughly inspect Nikamina. It's her hand. Right? Yeah. She got scratched by her cat. Hi! Indubitably, it's only natural to feel pain in your claw wound upon recalling the events. No doubt. From the looks of it, the wound is still fresh. Nikamina, could it be that your claw wound was inflicted last night? Oh, that's why I'm regretting that man has died. And when I am regretting, this wound hurts. That very same pain is the evidence of your relation with the victim's death. But who entered the scene that night, you ask? That would be the friend you carried on board this ship, wouldn't it? No surprise there, your line of sight shifted this time as well. Naturally, your friend is a snake. She has a cat. Regarding that claw wound, it must have been a wound caused by her friend, right? But snakes don't have claws, do they? Right. To begin with, they do not even have hands for claws to grow from. If that's the case, just what could the true identity of her friend be? If we look towards where Nikamina consciously directed her gaze, I'm sure that's where we'll find the answer. Picture frame. Examine. Yep, her cat. Yup! Oh, it's so cute. This is a photograph. It must be something Nikomina brought on board with her. Nikomina truly is quite beautiful. That's definitely true, but if you ask me... I'm more interested in this little black one over here. Me. I should take a closer look at this photograph. The cat. Hi! Naturally, your friend is that kitten. Right. One look at that claw wound and it becomes painfully clear. A black kitten. I don't know where it is right now, but... You brought it along as you saw it silent, correct? Blackie is my friend. Cannot leave behind. So the kitten's name is Black. However, if that was the case, then one problem presents itself. It was a speckled band that the victim witnessed last night. However, no matter how you look at it, this kitten looks nothing like a speckled band. So then, what did the victim see last night? Do not look. I am knowing nothing about that. I cannot do that one. Indubitably, the answer to this question is what you just tried to hide. Thus, it is that snakeskin without a doubt. It's not snakeskin. Nikomina. She took out what she was in her pocket and hid it behind her without thinking. If she had kept it in her pocket, she would have gotten away with it. I would expect no less from Holmes's forte, his bluffs. Shouldn't a great detective's forte be his deductions? Well, it's his observations, more so. At any rate, is it difficult to believe that it would be cast-off snakeskin? Then what on earth could it be? What's she trying to hide? Right here. Why would I represent her ear? Is that a leech? A toy? It's long. I'd like to examine it. It's certainly speckled and band-like, but what exactly is this? It's soft and fluffy and made out of a long piece of cloth. And there's a handle attached to the very end of it. It's a cat toy. This must be a Western cat teaser. A cat teaser. It's a toy meant for cats to play with. Kittens are especially fond of them. If you wiggle it in front of them, they're about to jump for it. That sounds really adorable. Hi! Thus, it is that cat toy, without a doubt. Yes, in other words, that would be the true identity of the spring. You dangled the toy through the air duct, correct? You must have swung it quite fiercely, so I'm surprised the victim caught sight of it. However, why would you do such a thing? That goes without saying. She hoped to use the toy, waving wildly to catch her kitten's attention. Then, bewitched by that toy, the kitty runs home and jumps into her arms. Oh. Indubitably, the identity of your friend that's stolen from the scene is none other than that tricky kitten, little Blackie. So he was in the vent and she was trying to get his attention. I see. What a truly troublesome cat. If I ever catch sight of it, I'll catch it for you. I'll borrow that photograph of Blackie for a bit. It's a very cute kitty. Last night I gave Blackie meal. Please don't give your cats milk. They're lactose intolerant. Then Blackie scratched my hand, then ran to call Belle. Before I could move, vanished into air duct. Yeah, that sounds like something a kitten would do. Blackie's bad kitty. He's good kitty. What do you mean? Black kitten. Fatal injury. Next, let's get into the core matter of his death. What are you gonna say this time? How and why was the victim's life robbed? From the information I have, the corpse did not show a single trace of external injury. Indubitably, the truth behind the victim's death lies in this deadly poison. Mr. Holmes must be right. It is true that Kazuma did not have external wounds. Yes, but it looks like there's some information that Mr. Holmes is aware of. Sogi didn't die from poison. That certainly appears to be the case. Let's tell him about that information. The answer is the autopsy report. I just scrolled right past it. Yeah. Over. Indubitably, the truth behind the victim's death lies in this post-mortem. I just knew it had to be one or the other. His neck? The only person who could live with a broken neck would be that sailor over there. No, I'm pretty sure he's human too, after all. What a cat, after all. Anyway, the victim had his neck broken. If that is indeed a fact, it's possible that the crime scene still contains hints about the murder. Why? Indubitably, examining the corpse will let us prove the cause of death, not the corpse. So he died from a broken neck. I suppose that means he would have had been struck. That's certainly possible. However, as of yet, we still have not found any potential weapons. And it's unlikely that the trespassing kitten struck him. Or perhaps, if he had toppled over and taken an unlucky fall, if unfortunate enough, that could very well have broken his neck. You might be right. Toppled over, huh? However, this is Kazuma we're talking about. It's difficult to believe that he could have been so clumsy. Regardless, we'll have to make the right change. Just where could the remaining traces of Asogi's death be? I don't think I see anything suspicious there. Any other pictures? Just looking at things that were on the crime scene now. Probably this. Probably. Right? Like, why would it be there? You know? I'm gonna say before I present it, because I'm not confident in this. Hi! Indubitably, examining the floor markings will let us prove the cause of death. There really were traces left over, traces of shoe polish on the floor. Shoe polish? I examined it with my homemade analysis machine that I carry around for fun. Beeswax, tallow, and dye. The composition matches that of shoe polish perfectly. Oh my god. Furthermore, the color of the shoe polish is the same as Asogi's leather boots. Looking at these traces, you can accurately guess what had happened. It's likely that something caused him to lose his footing and tumble over. No. He must have then unfortunately suffered a severe impact to his neck as he fell to the floor. But this is turning, so it definitely wasn't an accident. The instant the victim took that fatal injury to the cervical vertebrae, he took his last breath. No! I am knowing nothing. Nothing at all. Is that really true? When the victim perished, a certain piece of evidence remained on the scene. Indeed. Now then. You must have desperately tried to hide that damning piece of evidence, didn't you? Indubitably, your line of sight leads straight to the location of concealment. The evidence of the terrible murder is hidden within your trunk. No, Kazuma died because he tripped over and fell? Is that all? That must be a lie. I refuse to believe such a thing. There's no denying that the traces on the floor show exactly that. Well, yes, but... Plus, according to Mr. Holmes' theory, Nikomina tried to hide any evidence of the incident. It lies in this cabin directly in Nikomina's line of sight. So where did Nikomina hide it? Let's investigate this thoroughly. The answer must be here. Not there. That's it. Not the tiara. That would make any sense. Not again. Is it in the waste paper bin again? I keep looking at it, but nothing's there. Got this waste bin. Up, there it is. Wait, this is a piece of glass? I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. I don't think it's just your imagination. Yep. Hi! The evidence that you took the victim's life is hidden within your waste paper bin. I've seen this beautiful piece of glass somewhere before. Indubitably, take this fragment that was found on the floor of Asogi's cabin and... like so, it fits perfectly. Come now, Miss Nikomina, would you kindly explain yourself? Why is that a piece of the broken glass found? Why is it that a piece of the broken glass found at the scene of the crime is in your cabin's waste paper bin? I'm sure you're familiar with this glass bell. Oh, is that her cat's bell? That is your trademark I am knowing nothing will work here, if you're wondering why. There is decisive evidence that proves your connection to it. Huh? Isn't that right, Master Naruto? Yes! This is the piece of evidence that links Nikomina to the glass bell. Sure. Right? Yeah. Hi! Wait, did I present the wrong... Oh, it's clearly depicted in this photograph. Hanging from Blackie's neck. It's none other than the very same glass bell. Miss Nikomina, you can no longer run. The victim fell onto the cabin floor and lost his life in a terrible twist of fate. And that fated fall had something to do with your friend, Blackie. No matter what. I could not say this. Sorry. Shift over kitten. Deduction complete. Elementary. I am severely convinced he did not trip over a kitten, though. That's not how he died. Please, we need you to Please, we need you to tell us. What exactly happened last night? It was last night, hour after midnight, when I gave Blackie a meal. He went mad and ran away from me. I've heard that cats become very nervous when placed in a new environment. Yeah, sometimes. Kitty disappeared into air duct, then... So it was then that your hand was scratched. Yes. I know ship regulations. Cannot bring Kitty on ship. Animals carry pathogens that can spread diseases. It's too frightening to allow. So I listened to cabin next door. It was very quiet. Probably is sleeping, I think. And so you tried to call back the kitten in secret, didn't you? You tried waving Blackie's cat toy through that air duct. It always brings Blackie back, but this time, I used toy, I whistled, but Blackie does not return. So that low whistle Asogi heard was meant to call back the kitten. I hear that kitty cats will hide under cover and refuse to come out if they're afraid. I had no choice but to wait for Kitty to calm down. Then... I thought heart stopped. Suddenly I heard a loud voice, then a huge sound. And then I heard nothing else. Asogi. Judging from the marks left on the floor of the crime scene, the victim most likely stepped on the glass bell when he lost his footing. Although the Eclair may be a colossal ship, it can swing around with incredible force. It could be that as he was falling, a nervous kitten had wrapped itself around his feet. As these continuous unfortunate events piled up, he could do little to prevent his fall. In any case, what happened with the kitten afterwards? Later, he responded to my calls and returned from air dock. However, little Blackie is nowhere to be seen right now. Forgot to lock that trunk. Could he wander off again? Good grief, that kitty cat's as restless as I am. So he's aware that he's restless. Morning came. I hear that man next door is dead. But I could not say this. If people know truth about me, I have to go back. That scares me. Oh, if that's all true then, what about the snake? That's right! If this isn't Ikumina's friend, then why? Why is there such an extremely dangerous animal aboard the ship? I'm guessing it belongs to our sailor man. He seems pretty fond of it. Oh, forgot to mention, the snake. His friend, you see? Name is... Piro. That's his name. What? 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 You're saying that's your snake? And he escaped from cage during alarm ruckus earlier. I was looking for it. But was here all along? Huh. How did it escape in the first place? However, isn't it forbidden to carry animals aboard the ship? We were sailing together for over a year now, yes? Such good friends cannot be teared apart. I wonder if he has any other friends. Real friends, anyway. Look here, Mr. Sailor. It's a big, venomous snake of all things. Who would like that sort of thing? It is not venomous. What? See Piro here? It's long, but harmless to man or animal. What an adorable friend. Harmless? It's just grumpy from hungry right now. Give food to bring back cuteness. And by food, do you mean things like milk and such? Huh! Such a snake exists only in fairy tales. He loves mice, round fat mice. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that mouse trap along the cabin corridor is... Yes, it is to trap catch Piro's favorite food. Wow, the circle of life is pretty harsh. It doesn't drink milk, hear whistles, climb call bells, or even inject venom. Indeed, one could say the fellow doesn't have a leg to stand on. Who the hell cares? Do not yell at me again. Anyway, Piro has nothing to do with this incident. I love you, man. So this is the truth behind Asogi's death. I don't believe it. It can't, no. That's not what happened. Not in this game. It's so unsatisfactory that it's not what happened. Nikomina. I understand that the position you have been put in is rough, and I sympathize with you. However, that said, should you take his life and lie in hopes of escaping your final punishment? You would be purely despicable no matter how dire your circumstances might be. I can't talk. You would be purely despicable no matter how dire your circumstances may be. Huh? What are you trying to say? Hasn't all of the mystery just been clearly unraveled before us? No. Everything was hinged on an unfortunate off-chance accident. No. The writing, though, that doesn't make any sense. I am not able to see things as well as Mr. Holmes can. But I know for a fact this cannot be the truth. What do you think, Naruhodo? I agree. Honestly, I had the same feeling. There is something out of place in Nikumina's words. had thought to leave everything after this to Scotland Yard. What? There is only one reason why I am investigating this incident. It's simply because I couldn't bear to look at you, Master Naruhodo. Is it because of Watson? You mean me? Those cuffs binding your hands simply bothered me to no end. Oh, they're back. Again! When did he do that? I felt almost as if I had placed those handcuffs on you myself, you see. Well, kinda did. In any case, I thought to do something about it before the ship docks in Hong Kong. Mr. Holmes, he's a good boy. However, there was one thing that slipped my mind. The departed victim was a very dear friend to both of you. That's the truth, isn't it? Yes. Asogi was my best friend. He was the man who saved me. Then, the truth that lies beyond this point should be sought out by your very own eyes. My own eyes? That odd feeling I got from Nigumina's words. Perhaps if I pursue it, I might be able to find out the truth. The true story behind your death will finally come to light. Are we gonna do a deduction by ourselves? That would be bad. I understand. I'll give it a shot. That's the spirit. Naruhodo. Now, shall we begin, Master Naruhodo? Yes, sir. Well then, let's start with the first issue. The victim's corpse within the locked cabin. Was that really the result of an accident? Or perhaps it was not an accident at all? We should make this clear first. Well, as I was just saying, the kitten went through the air duct and caused its fall. It was clearly an accident. Whoa! That was an intense hold it. That isn't right. That line of thought is obviously flawed. Might I beg an explanation? That's right, it's slowly becoming clearer. The contradiction behind Asogi's death is glaringly obvious. Simply put, Asogi's cabin holds decisive evidence to the contrary. His death was not a mere accident. What did you say? In that case, show me your so-called evidence. Show me the evidence that proves the death of the victim was not just an accident. I am assuming the writing. Right. It's clearly shown in this photograph. It would have been impossible for Asogi to write that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that writing is Russian, isn't it? Precisely. It means wardrobe. It would have been natural if his dying message was in Japanese. However, what if you learned Russian? Russian is easy. Surprisingly easy. I kind of doubt that. Well, whatever the case, it doesn't matter. What do you mean? As I said before, it was impossible for Asogi to have left that message. And the reason for that is clearly written here. Instant death from trauma to the cervical vertebrae. Instant death. In other words, he could not have written those words after falling to the floor. After all, he was already dead. And that's not all. I recall one other issue regarding Kazuma's cabin. No matter how you look at it, the traces at the scene cannot contradict an accidental death. Really? Since Usada knows it too. There's still something that strikes me as odd, even putting aside the Russian message. And that's the piece of evidence that proves it wasn't just an accident. Huh. Oh, Trying to think. Hi! What exactly is the meaning of this? It means the truth behind the steps to the surface. I can feel it. Yeah. All that evidence proves is that you're quite an overactive. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's kind of the point. I'm wrong. I know, I'm stupid. I know. I'm stupid. I can't believe Holmes is calling me stupid, out of all people. Out of all people to call me stupid. I'm just gonna present things until it's right. I can't. I don't know the answer to this. Sometimes you just gotta brute force your way through it. Okay. There's these marks on the floor here. But couldn't those be left behind by the glass bell that was split in two? Something that could have happened when the victim was falling over? Yes, that's right. If you think of it that way, there shouldn't be any problem. Unfortunately, there's one fatal flaw in your reasoning. Please tell me what it is, because I am the same as Hosonaga right now. What? If that was really the case, then answer me this. Why was the other half of the broken bell found in another cabin? Wait. I'm just really stupid. I'm just so dumb. The other half of the glass bell was found in the waste paper bin. Might you offer us an explanation? Might you offer us an explanation, Minkomina? Thus, the truth revealed by these two pieces of evidence could only be as follows. When Asogi died, he was not alone. Another person was in the cabin. Furthermore, that person tampered with the scene of the crime. All to escape from the crime they committed. When the incident occurred, there was another person present at the scene. What the? Rubbish. Another person, you say? We already knew. What do you mean, sir? He means me, obviously. You're forgetting stowaway in cabin? When Exchange Student died, another person was you. Indeed, I was present in the cabin during that time. To be more precise, he was stuffed inside that cabin's wardrobe. But if I was the culprit, how could you explain the Russian message left behind? To be more precise, it's not that you didn't write it, but more like you couldn't. Excuse me? Could you please shut up for a moment? You be nice to him. Be nice to Sherlock. Oh my god. Well, pardon me. Anyway. The culprit wrote wardrobe on the floor in Russian. All in order to frame me, sound asleep inside the wardrobe for this crime. Furthermore, they retrieved a piece of the glass bell lying on the floor. They removed it from the scene because it would become evidence of Kazuma's murder. Not the other. But if that were true, then there would be no point unless all the fragments were discarded. Half of it was left at the scene. Do you not find that strange? Well, the crime occurred a little past 1 a.m. The cabin's interior must have been rather dark. Light was provided by one small lamp. Little of it must have reached the floorboards. It wouldn't be unimaginable for the killer to have overlooked some glass. Everyone suspecting me. Mr. Stroganoff? This girl was originally daughter of seamen. 2 years ago, scattered for talent and sold to ballet group. Until then, the ship was her stage. She danced with band for sailors. No more accusations against our ship's delicate fairy. I never could have imagined. When exchange student died, do you think girl was in cabin too? It's not possible. No chance in hell, ever. How intriguing. Why are you able to declare that with such conviction? You did not already know the great detective? Oh, the door to cabin was locked from within. Yukimine is not only one with alibi, it's also true for everyone else. Entering cabin would be impossible. He's right. No. But, now that you mention it, I have read of such a thing in mystery novels before. In moments like these, a needle and thread could be used to open the door from outside. Susato, we've already disproved that thought many times. Needle and thread, ridiculous. Doors in the ship were built strong, cannot be opened by fence and thread and needle. Yeah. What you say is fact. This is the door of a sea steamship, after all. In order to keep water out, it is made of heavy iron. Not even magnets would work. That's what I thought. It was simply because Naruhodo had spoken of this earlier. Susato, you're mean! Then, as I initially presumed, unlatching the door from outside was impossible. But it's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. What are you saying? Allow me to say this. If you were to leave that door to me, I could latch it shut without ever so much as touching it once. And right now, this cabin holds a trace of that very method. Are you serious? How about you, Master Naruhodo? Don't you also know of such a method? A method of latching the cabin door shut from the outside. Indeed, you're right. I can think of it. Is that true, Naruhodo? Yes, after all. You both witnessed it. Well then, would you kindly point that out for us, Master Naruhodo? What is the proof that suggests the door was locked from the outside? I have a really dumb thought that it's the bell. That makes them freak out. But, okay, yeah, I can't even look at it. Oh, I can't? No. Yeah, I can't look at anything. Did I break it? Hi! Please take a look at that bookshelf. Various books and trinkets are scattered all over the place. It is likely that they fell down during the emergency stop earlier. Yes, there is no mistake about that, considering how massive the ship is. Tremendous force would travel throughout the ship's interior if it were to stop abruptly. As such, it would be only natural that a couple of small items would topple over. As usual, Susato sure knows about some complicated stuff. And when that force toppled over the bookshelf, there was one more thing that moved within this cabin. And that would be the latch on the door. What? After that emergency stop earlier, I understood everything. At that time, none of us had latched the door. Despite that... Ah yes, the unnecessary flashbacks. Someone in there, please respond, that voice... That's right, when the ship stopped, the door had latched shut. This door's latch may be made of metal, but it is small and lightweight. Do you think Due to the earlier mentioned force acting against the latches. I have moved. Could you be implying that last night, after the incident had occurred? The ship, the SS Sinclair, pulled over for an emergency stop? When I woke up this morning, I couldn't help but feel that something was off. The books and trinkets on the bookshelf had all fallen over. It was as if a whirlwind had swept through the room. It looked just like it does right now. Oh, now that you mention it, the items certainly were scattered about. Although everything is neatly put back together by now. That's why right after I entered this room, I was very surprised. All the books and ornaments had fallen over in the exact same way as in the soldier's room. What do you say to that, Nicolina? SS Sinclair, stop? Ridiculous. He's right. Stopping the ship is no simple task. Or are you implying that the culprit is one of the ship's engineers? Oh, come now. The matter is nothing that complicated, my fellow. If they rang the emergency bell, probably it would stop, right? What? It's even on the walls of the corridor. Check out the emergency alarm. Yeah. Yes, that's true. In the event of an emergency, this button is to be pushed. It's clearly written in the hallway. During dense foggy nights, those on lookout cannot ensure safety with the those on lookout cannot ensure safety with their eyes open. As such, buttons are installed on the ship to allow the crew to issue emergency warnings. Such a fair-sounding button just begs to be pushed. At least once or twice. The new... When that button is pressed, an emergency alarm is rung. It causes the ship to come to a complete stop and alert everyone on the ship of the situation. Just like earlier. Did you push the button, Holmes? I love you so much, Jeremy. Excuse me. Could it be that you... It is my belief that buttons exist for the sole purpose of being pushed. Me! At any time and in any way. This great detective certainly doesn't know the meaning of the word fear. Naruto, you wanted to push the damn button too. You were like, I want to push it, and she had to stop you. You rat? Who are you thinking you are? I will report this to Captain. Be ready for punishment. Calm down, my friend. Why don't we postpone that to a later time? Anyway, with the alarm raised, I was able to confirm something. If this ship was to make an emergency stop, the cabin's latches would lock themselves. And so, there was but one question to ponder next. And that would be, of course, last night after Kazuma's incident, did this ship make an emergency stop? It's not that simple. Giant steamship cannot just make emergency stop. Such a huge incident would wake everyone from their beds. What do you think, Master Naruto? It could be that last night there was some kind of emergency stop made by the ship. And I might be able to prove that it happened at the very least. What? Does such evidence truly exist? That is highly interesting. Please show it to us, by all means. What is the evidence that suggests the ship made an emergency stop last night? God, you're making me do all the work. I love you a lot, and I love that you're like, oh, you need to do this next. And he, like, knows, though? So it's like, I don't know. Hi! Mr. Stroganoff. You were on security lookout for the first-class cabin area, correct? Huh? I mean, yes. What about it? This ship's log is a record of the lookout, correct? That's mine. Yes. It looked like you accidentally forgot about it and left it on the desk. So I took the responsibility of taking it into my custody in order to bring it back to you. It was not accident, I left it on purpose. In any case, if you take a look through this record, at regular 30-minute intervals, nothing unusual is written within the log. within the log. However, starting from 2 a.m., there are no records written at all. None at all? That is just, well, obviously there was nothing unusual. If there was nothing unusual, then nothing unusual should have been written. Indubitably. In other words, after 2 a.m., on board the Eclair, something happened. Something important enough to cause someone to even forget the ever so important ship's log. And that would be the emergency stop. Do not be making ridiculous assumptions. To be honest, I also seem to have trouble believing that such a thing could have happened. And why is that? Well, just think about it. Consider the magnitude of such an incident. No matter the circumstances, certainly we would have noticed. That is true. After all, we just had a taste of that emergency stop ourselves. Such an incredible alarm and such an incredible heave. No matter how deep and sleep it could have been, we would have been woken up from that. Well, you certainly have a point there. No, because I didn't even wake up when someone dragged me out of the wardrobe. Have we all noticed the throbbing as well? Yes. What? What could you be referring to? Your heads. For some reason, ever since this morning, my head has just been killing me. Now that you mention it, I have not been feeling the best for whatever reason ever since this morning. I haven't either. My head has been feeling heavy all morning. As I had suspected, it's been much the same for everyone. That's right. Now that I think about it, it's been the same for me as well. After eating dinner last night, I ended up feeling drowsy all of a sudden. Somehow made it to the wardrobe, but I don't remember anything after that. Why didn't cousin feel drowsy? When I woke up this morning, the first thing I felt was that throbbing pain in my head. By the time I came to my senses, I was dragged out of the wardrobe. And with both hands cuffed. There was no way I wouldn't have woken up from something like that. Exactly. Oh, by the way, Master Naruto, you are the impudent stowaway who boarded the ship, correct? Yes, much to my shame. Stowaway shouldn't have been receiving meals. How did you come about your meal? It was in the meals! Oh. Oh, that's, well, you know, because he didn't eat any of it. Asogi shared just a bit of his meal with me. No, he didn't. Because you ate all of it. If memory serves, the meal last night was roasted chicken. Come to think of it, I ate all of it last night. Asogi wasn't a big fan of chicken. So, the victim did not eat a single bite of the chicken? That's right. But why is that important? After relaying that information yourself, have you not come to realize anything? I have. Might you be saying that the chicken was abnormal? Exactly. Oh, so that's what it was. The food provided by the ship last night was tampered with. When eaten, you would be lulled into a sweet sleep. That kind of tampering. Sleeping drugs, you mean? In that case, in order to put the ship into emergency stop, the culprit put sleeping drugs in all the food. Naruto, I do think that is too much impossible of a task to pull off. Exactly. It's impossible to drug all of the food on the ship. Assuming that the entire crew was not cooperating together on the matter, that is. What? What are your thoughts, good sailor? Huh? I am of the opinion that it would be difficult to cover up this matter any further. If you do not wish to talk, then I will request an official investigation of the ship. If it were to come to that, I'd imagine that you sailors and your captain would all be punished. Punished under the crime of assisting a defection. Oof, lag. That is enough. I will tell everything. What? I do not want to trouble sailors. At one point, you were all comrades who traveled together, right? That is why I asked them for help when I ran away. All sailors wanted to help. Help Princess who abandoned her motherland in her ballet troupe. Who in heavens could this be? As you say, last night's chicken was drugged. Heavily. Now that I think about it, there were some bitter lumps mixed in. Oh yes, sleeping drugs probably did not dissolve all the way. What kind of seasoning is that? Around midnight, Princess boarded our ship and agreed on area in the open ocean. Smugglers bring her on a small fishing boat. And we, the passengers, remained sound asleep, blissfully unaware of what was occurring. Thanks to the sweet magic spell cast on the delicious chicken. Then, the people who were awake on the ship last night were the entire ship's crew, as well as those who have a deep-rooted hatred of chicken, and the new passenger of the ship, Nikomina. Other words, it would have been possible for you to utilize this in the ship's emergency stop to latch the shut door. But if she wasn't on when the emergency stop happened, even if the events had indeed panned out as you claimed, weren't all the latches in the ship lock causing a huge commotion? No, I don't think so. What? Oh, I get it. Last night, we all had our meals within our respective cabins. And then we were overcome with incredible drowsiness and went to sleep. Consequently, all the passengers were in their own cabin. Nothing would be out of place if they woke to find a latch on their cabin door shut. And that is why not a single soul noticed anything unusual. In other words, for the sake of shutting merely one latch on the ship, the culprit forced the SSA player to make an emergency stop. Talk on and on about this, but what is your point? It's just as you have heard. There's no doubt that there was a third party present at the crime scene. For the purpose of framing someone else, they left a message in Russian on the floor, and they desperately hid the piece of glass that could serve as evidence. And to top it all off, they put the ship in an emergency stop to latch the scene's door shut. But I must say, it was a job well done. But I'm knowing nothing about any of that. Keep going with your funny jargon and big words if you want. But we sailors are not caring about your fancy logic games. We do not believe until we are seeing with our own eyes. That's quite the fine maxim you have there. Huh? In truth, I am of the same belief, but as seen by one's own eyes is everything. Master Naruto? Yes? Can you hear it? Cries of confession reverberate throughout the ship. Cries of confession? I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any idea what you... The proof of the crime is not the ears that hear the voiceless voice. Rather, it's none other than the eyes. It all stems from observation. You still make no sense. What is your point? Now, let's begin. This time, once and for all. For the sake of reaching the final truth, we'll begin the theater of logic and reason. Yes! Now, with that said, it's a pleasure to be working with you, Master Naruto. It is! Mr. Holmes, what on earth is this? It's just as I've said, we are to observe them. Observe them? Are you gonna teach me how to do it? At the moment when Kazuma passed away, some individual had tampered with various things at the crime scene. We are to locate the trace of that happening, correct? Exactly. You catch on quickly. I got it. I'll give it a shot. I'll point out the traces of the third party present at the scene of the crime. Trace of the third party present at the scene of the crime. I doubt. Though she is missing her earring, actually. Did she drop it in the... I don't think there's really... Whoa! Stroganoff. You have a purple stain on your white uniform. Huh? Oh, must be smudged from somewhere. Did you happen to know anything about that stain? What are you saying? As of this moment, we are still unable to pinpoint the significance of that stain. How about we go ahead and clean that up? That purple stain clinging onto Mr. Stroganoff's uniform. I believe it is obvious what his true identity is. Exactly. Well then, kindly present that piece of evidence if you would. Yes, sir. Those traces left on Mr. Stroganoff's uniform. The evidence that points towards their true nature is... Would it be that picture? This? Hi! The true identity of that stain is ink. Ink, you say? Purple ink, a most uncommon color. Oh. You seem to have realized the meaning behind that. The Russian words on the floor of the scene were written with purple ink. It's the exact same color as the stain on your uniform. If the ink had dried, then it would have been impossible for it to stain. Therefore, immediately following the event of that incident, you were present in this cabin. Fine, I talk. I tell you everything I did. First, I tamper with evidence in dead exchange student's cabin, and shut latches in ship's emergency stop. All to divert suspicion away from Princess. Petrov. Is okay, Princess. I do the talking. It was around 1 a.m. I had been keeping watch on that corridor. Princess, face pale with fear, ran over to me. Help, please. When we reached the cabin, the door was open. One look into cabin, and I saw exchange student collapsed on the floor. What the hell happened here? Don't tell anyone. But my friend... Princess told the truth. What happened in cabin is exactly what she said. The kitten ran into Asoki's cabin through the air duct. Asoki then tumbled over with that kitten around his feet, ending his life. Yeah, exactly. And following that, Miss Nikomina had visited the cabin next door, correct? It was there that she found the victim's corpse. I summarized that would be the case. Yeah, she heard falls, so she went to look. Right, Princess? Cabin door was not latched shut. Princess could tell in single glance what had happened in that room. I have one thing that I would like to confirm. What is it? By the time you had visited Kazuma's cabin, Nikomina, Kazuma had already passed. Is that correct? Huh? Yes, that is what I said. When Princess peeked into cabin, exchange student was, I am asking Nikomina. Nikomina, your answer. Oh? Yes, it is right. I look inside cabin. Man in black on floor, not moving. Got so scared. I understand. I would believe those words. No. Because he died at like 2, didn't he? This time for sure. That must be the truth behind Asoki's death. No. Oh yes, that reminds me. There's something I forgot. Mr. Holmes? Look at this photograph. This is something I took myself. The cause of death was fracture of the cervical spine. His death was most likely instant. And the cause of that was a kitten that unfortunately caught his feet and tripped him. However, if that was indeed the case, then I'd like you to take a look at this photo. Somehow, I feel there's an unnatural element present here. What do you mean, unnatural? Master Naruhodo, what is your opinion on the matter? Huh? Sir! Soki's life ended unfortunately due to an accidental fall, and supposedly unnatural element lies within this photo. Okay, I was like, no, I'm correct. Hi! So we couldn't have left those Russian letters behind, therefore it's obvious his fingertip is what's strange. Well, if that is true, it certainly is strange. This was a forgery made to tamper with the scene, after all. It wouldn't be considered unnatural. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Yeah, I figured. Try to imagine the scene. The victim suddenly tripped and fell over. At this moment, an unnatural element regarding the victim's fallen body reveals itself. That is what I believe, and so too should you. That's Mr. Holmes for you. Softly but surely pressing onward. His other hand. Hi! That fallen forward was the result of an unfortunate accident. And this fist feels jarringly out of place. My thoughts exactly. Usually, if one were to fall, the hands would naturally be open. Yeah, because you're trying to catch yourself. Okay, yeah. Despite that, the victim's left hand was clasped firmly in a fist. Yes, almost as if he was holding something inside that fist. What? So you see, I went ahead and investigated the contents of the victim's fist earlier. Huh? Now what do you suppose came out, ladies and gentlemen? Let us see. Please, let us see. Yes, of course. I'll let you see all you wish. Yup, the earring. It was this right here. Might this be a crescent moon adorned with a diamond? Indeed, this does seem like the world's most beautiful crescent moon. What of it? I wonder what this could mean. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. That's the definition of observation, Master Naruhodo. Huh? The truth will soon be clear to all. That crescent moon in his grasp must have come from somewhere. Now, Master Naruhodo, it's finally time for the last clue. Just what in the world will this crescent moon reveal to us? Observe with your own two eyes. Where did I see a crescent moon? Should I point out her one that is still there, or the one that isn't still there? Hi! Nikomina? I can see a crescent moon hanging from your ear. What? But your other ear is lacking that same crescent moon. It looks like the delicate decoration was broken off. And furthermore, the crescent moon was discovered in the victim's hand. The truth that I gather from these facts can lead to only one conclusion. Don't you agree, Master Naruhodo? Yes. Nikomina, Asogi had ripped this crescent moon from your ear. It's very likely that happened just before he fell onto the ground. So, in other words, last night, in the incident Asogi had fallen over, you were standing right in front of him. You must know what I mean. The earring was in reaching distance of his extended hand. Why? Why had Asogi done something like that? He plucked the earring off your ear, and even though he was dead, he kept clinging onto it. Oh. Princess. This time, you'll need to face the music. Nobody can protect you. Please answer me, Nikomina. Last night, just what did you do to Asogi? Breakdown? Yep! Thinking now, too many things happened yesterday. Run from Shanghai, rowed boat looking for a big steamship at night. And then, after such a wild day, I sit and rest in my cabin. No, wait! When Kitty jumped into air duct, I turned pale. I whistled and called for Kitty. I tried to bring it back with toys, but Kitty just would not come back. So you went to our cabin to ask if he was there, right? What are you doing at such a late hour, Detective? Ah. Do pardon my manners, my lady. I was certain that an acquaintance of mine had come for a visit. Asian exchange student was polite, understanding too. He helped look for Blackie and promised to keep secret. But as they grabbed Blackie and tried to leave cabin... Excuse me, my lady. Please wait a moment. What? I can't help but feel as if I've seen your face somewhere before. Huh? Right, you're the Russian ballerina. Am I mistaken? What? No, I am not knowing that person. My heart freezed in terror. I knew this was dangerous discovery. Why did Asian exchange student recognize Russian ballerina? I was struck by the beauty of that public ballet performance I had seen in Japan. However, tell me, why might you be on the ship? As I recall, shouldn't you be headed to Shanghai right now? I know I could not trick him. Had to make friends with him so he would stay quiet. No other option. I see. You've defected. Please do not tell anyone about Nico. If that's the case, please wait for a moment. There's someone who I wish to discuss this with. Me? Oh. Actually really sad right now. Because we've been doing the whole, oh, they're looking at this, but they're actually looking at this the whole case. He was looking at the wardrobe because of me, and she thought he was looking at the bell to the captain. That hurts. That really hurts. He's going to ring the bell and tell the ship's captain. Exchange student not sympathetic after all. He was looking at the wardrobe. That one instant felt so long. But all this happened at once. Wait! Could not help but yell to him. Kitty jumped out of my arms and run to exchange student's feet. And then, when he turned to look back, I pushed him away hard as I could. After that, I'm remembering nothing. Why push him? Still not sure. I just wanted to stop him. Wanted to stop him from telling anyone. He wasn't looking at the bell. That hurt! Oh my god! He was looking at the wardrobe. God. And it was then that you decided to call for help. Specifically, help from Mr. Stroganov, the man guarding the hallway. I heard a scream and loud noise, so I rushed to scene. In front of cabin, Princess was shaking. She said, "Help. If I am caught, there's no place left to run." And so you tampered with the crime scene in Asogi's cabin? All to divert suspicion away from the passenger in the cabin next door? Yes, is correct. I checked both the corpse and the whole cabin to be sure. Then I found him. Stowaway was sleeping with baby inside a wardrobe. That would be me. At that point, you must have schemed to have the entire crime pinned on the stowaway. Is that correct? I closed the wardrobe and stuck strange seal back on board. Next to that, Princess had a chance to unload her doubts on me. I moved corpse and wrote words using ink spilled on floor. Culprit hiding inside wardrobe. On a related note, which one of you cleaned out the broken glass? I did. I picked up glass shards. Did you? But room was so dark, only found half. After this, I returned the princess to the cabin and added final touches. So you push the alarm button along the corridor. That is correct. Thus, the SS Eclair resorted to emergency stop close to 2 hours past midnight. Door latched shut, thereby completing the creation of our locked room. Excuse me, Nikamina, could I have a word with you? Yes? Last night, when he explained your defection to us, he looked as if he was going to notify the captain. Therefore, you pushed him. You said that yourself, right? Yes, right. But hypothetically speaking, even if you ring the bell to call the captain, every single sailor on the ship is an ally of yours, right? What reason would you have to worry? First thing that Station had said to me struck me with fear. The first thing he said. What are you doing at such a late hour, detective? Yeah. It's like, oh, he knows a detective. Do pardon my manners, my lady. I was certain that an acquaintance of mine had come for a visit. Detective. Acquaintance. That means Sir Sophie is referring to me, responsible as his bodyguard. If you tell this detective, I know I'd be arrested. But he was gonna tell me. So before he could ring bell, he wasn't gonna ring the bell! Before you continue, Nikamina, I cannot help but be bothered by something. Are you sure that Kazuma really planned to ring the bell? Huh? Naruhodo, what are your thoughts? He was looking at me. I'm not him, so I can't say for certain, but at the very least, I do know one thing. Sogi isn't the kind of person to call for extra brawn out of nowhere. But he really walked towards Bell. He wanted to ring it. To deport me. To Russia. Well, Master Naruhodo, it appears we are in need of one last reasoning session. Reasoning, you say? What did the victim actually try to do in that moment? I'm so sad! What just could have laid before his eyes? How about we take a look at ourselves? How about we take a look for ourselves? No, I trust me, my word, the victim was located in the cabin, yes. Yes, I can clearly recall anything about that cabin. Fuck this music! I'm actually gonna cry right now. Even if I was crammed within that wardrobe, I still spent practically my entire voyage in that cabin. Then this must be what Kazuma saw last time. Yes, there's no doubt about it. I trust you are ready then, Master Naruhodo. Yes. Today, I learned something important. Within one's line of sight, there exists a truth that you may not even realize. And in order to bring that truth to light, I can't overlook anything that lies within that line of sight, no matter how slight. When Asogi turned his back to Nikamina, this is what lay in his line of sight. Considering the circumstances last night, it's true that it would have appeared as if Sogi was about to ring the bell. Indubitably, however, he said that call bell was a wardrobe. And within that wardrobe, it's his friend, sleeping ever so soundly. Please remember, victim, Kazuma, what did he say at that moment? If that's the case, please wait for a moment. There's someone who I wish to discuss this with. Discuss. He had no intention of calling the crew. He simply wanted to wake up his good friend and discuss how they could help you. Is there anything we can do? Probably something like that. No. Of course, as it stands now, it is impossible to know the full truth. But as for what lay within Kazuma's line of sight, you should have made sure of what that was. Nikomina. Thank you for telling us the truth in the end. However, the fact that you took away his life will never disappear. Please don't ever forget that. I'm sorry. Truly, very sorry. This just hurts. This just hurts. Thus, the curtains lowered quietly on the incident involving the SSK. This just really hurts. So what will happen to Nikomina? She's to be turned over to the British Empire Spartan Guard. Will she be granted asylum? Won't Russia demand that she be handed over to them? Our great British detective plans to negotiate with the immigration office on that matter. Mr. Holmes? Then will she never be able to return to Russia? I would assume so. Even if she wishes to in the future, she will not ever be able to return to her homeland. That is what it means to defect. I see. I'm very sorry. Promenade. I only wanted to help the princess, but you lose a best friend. I do not think of your feelings. The princess and I will turn ourselves over to Scotland. I see. In any case, thank you for returning my freedom. No matter how much I want to, so the pain will never go away. Good luck with Nikomina. Thank you. Now then, it would be best to prepare for disembarkment soon. The ship will arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. I am deeply sorry, but on top of turning you over to the consul, you'll be repatriated to your home country. I understand. It was a stowaway after all. That wasn't going to be overlooked. With that said, shall we return to the cabin? I'm so sad right now, though. The exchange program to Britain, too, has ended before it even began. The two of us laughed so much as we made plans to wreak havoc in London. Now, it just feels like a far-off memory. I can hear someone sobbing. Oh. Susato. Oh my, how long have you been there? I just got here. Detective Hosonaga just told me to start preparing to disembark the ship. Oh, give the girl a hug. I'm still finding this matter quite unbelievable. To think someone's life could end so quickly, so prematurely. Susato. This is just really sad. Cosmo set out on this grand journey whilst holding onto a grand dream. And then someone showed up and heartlessly cut that dream apart into pieces. I will never let them get away with this. At least, that was what I thought. Instead, the truth of the matter was just an unfortunate collection of consecutive little accidents. It's too much, just much too fleeting. It really is. I'm afraid that I cannot offer any words of apology for that matter. Detective, my duty was to ensure that Asogi made his voyage to the British Empire safely. Not only was I unable to accomplish that, but I also made his friends suffer. I, Hosonaga, will do anything you ask as a means of apology. Detective Hosonaga, I don't want to pin the blame on you. As you can see, I'm finally free at last. Huh? Sherlock, this is not the time. I love you. But did it surprise you there, Mr. Naruto? What on earth are you doing? It's nothing, really. It's just that, you see, those handcuffs have been fully burned into my memory. If they were to go away, it would tip the balance. I'd find it difficult to look at you again. Huh? As a commemoration, I'll leave the hanging from your wrist. You are a stowaway after all. Just how mean can he be? Mr. Holmes. I would like to thank you for everything you have done this voyage. Please accept my humble gratitude from the bottom of my heart. No, I feel the same way. I apologize for my late manners. What happened to your friend was truly a pity. I express my sincerest condolences. I pray that you study enough in Britain for his part as well. Unfortunately, that will not be happening. We will be disembarking at the next port, Hong Kong. We will then report to the consul on site and make our way back to Japan. Huh? Wait, please! Wasn't it just supposed to be me, the stowaway, who was supposed to go back? There is an agreement between both countries over who the exchange students would be. Together, one attorney and one legal assistant. Together. Now that the lawyer, Sogi, has passed away, the exchange program has to be suspended. There's no other choice. It doesn't matter what happens to me. But Susato shouldn't be involved. Oh, come now. The solution's simple. In other words, as long as there is another attorney, your journey can continue. But there isn't anyone else who can fill the qualifications of the attorney. Qualifications? Don't make me laugh. The country's qualifications hold no weight whatsoever in the British Empire anyway. Then, come what may, there is still 1 month left until the ship reaches London. During that time, I do not think it would be impossible to find a substitute attorney. I see. Hey, Susato? Yes, what is it? Could I possibly fill that role? What? But you're not an attorney. Oh, could you possibly be a law student? No, not exactly. If that is the case, then that possibility is no more than a dead end. However, there's still 1 month left before we reach London. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruto? I'll study everything that I need to become an attorney throughout that entire month. Good luck! Naruto. Ridiculous! Just what can you do in only 40 days? I won't know until I try! 40 days. I'll study as if my life depends on it, so please, just give me a chance. If you can't acknowledge me as an attorney by the time we reach London, I'll accept whatever punishment there is. Why would you do something so reckless? Sogi once told me there was something he absolutely had to do in the British Empire. To that end, he would be willing to make whatever sacrifices were necessary. I don't want his wish to die in a place like this. And, of course, I'm doing this for myself as well. I'll become an attorney. I swear it. What do you think, Susato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Susato. Your thoughts for a detective? On what? 1 attorney and 1 legal assistant. The numbers are a proper match, you know? No. That's just plain codswallop? I don't know what that means. I think it's just fine. It seems like it'd be fun. Fun. It's more potently fun than, for example, duty or rules. And that's all there is to it. The only one thinking that's all there is to it is you. And furthermore, what's crucial isn't so much qualifications, but rather their character, would you say? Even you have seen it with your own eyes. Today, from the moment he woke up to even this very instant, faced with the pain of his friend's death, along with being suspected as the murderer, he witnessed the accomplishments he made whilst carrying the weight of that burden. I understand. I'll make sure our country's government understands the situation. Detective Hosonaga. Come to think of it, I did promise you this just earlier. I promised that I would do anything you asked as of apology. Thank you so much, Detective Hosonaga. Now then, I must make my way to the capital's quarters. I must report to our country about this matter and discuss our next course of actions. Do you truly intend to begin studying law from here on? Yes, and if it's okay with you, could you possibly teach me everything about being an attorney? Of course, I'd be happy to lend a hand. I'm a legal assistant after all. Thank you so much. Now, following that, Naruhodo, if it would please you, I would like you to accept this. What? You sure I should have this? I'm sure Kazuma would wish for this as well. It is a famed blade that has been passed down throughout the Sogi family for generations. I'm told its name is Karma. I'll gladly accept this. So, once again, I look forward to working with you, Susato. I will be looking forward to working with you as well, Naruhodo. I will not allow you even a single moment's rest throughout the next 40 days. I shall follow through with you thoroughly. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. The truth is, I have one more request to ask of you. Huh? Oh, yes. What might that be? Please. Toss me 3 times. Huh? During the investigation, it was always clear that you would never do anything to hurt your dear friend Kazuma. That is undeniable. And I knew that from the very beginning. Despite that, however, I came to suspect you. No matter how shaking up I may have been, it was an awful thing to do. No, it was completely understandable in that situation. The room was locked from the inside and I was... No! I do not want to hear any excuses. The reason does not matter. Tossing you at all was terrible, and not just once, but 5 times. I wonder if that number changes on how many times you managed to get her to throw you. Pretty sure she didn't do it that much. So come on, do it. Just toss me right over with no hesitation. No, no, no. I've never even tossed anyone before in the first place. Yes, well, it is indeed not something that just anyone can do. Ah, Mr. Holmes. I've seen it countless times already, but I still can't get enough of that wonderful toss. Just where has he been watching that from? I suppose that would be an example of your so-called Japanese martial arts? Yes, it's a technique passed down from long ago, but with my own unique style. It's apparently called the Susato toss. If you ever get tossed, you'll be seeing stars. That is quite intriguing. You see, I happen to be quite the skilled boxer. Why is he dancing now? If you would be so kind, would you teach me that wonderful toss of yours? It would be my honor. Might you try tossing something now, then? It would be a good place to start for my studies. You don't tell me, huh? I'd be glad to. Yeah, it's chill. Now then, Naruhodo. Do excuse me. No, it's fine. It's fine. And that is how it is done. The whole toss is to come from your gut. Amazing! So this is the legendary technique, the Susato toss. So this would be the deadly Susato drop. No. Oh my god. I'm glad you guys are getting along. Am I fading consciousness? The scene from that night flashed by in my head for an instant. Karma? Yes, this is the great katana passed down through the Asogi family for generations. I'm still surprised that the government was okay with it. Bringing a Japanese sword into the British Empire on an exchange program is a little... The katana lies at the heart of our culture. I can't allow this to leave my side. No matter what, it'll always be here, guiding me forward. That's what I believe. One great strike to end all evil. And that kind of attitude really suits you. Yeah, that sounds about right. There's something I absolutely have to do no matter what. And to that end, I'll make whatever sacrifices are necessary. And I would be grateful if you would see that through with me. Of course, I swear it. I'll see this through with you to the very end. I knew you would say that. When Asogi said that moment, I know what he had to do. I still don't fully understand what that goal might be. But I'll seek it out with my own eyes. In the British Empire's capital, London. Adventure of the Runaway Room. Well, I guess we did that. God. That will be the end of the stream again. That was just super sad. Goodness. Okay, well. Bye.